Well, it's black corks on all of them for me. So this is my workhorse. This one, my main CTS. But yeah, it's black corks on both the bridge and the neck. Ashwood, swamp ash on the body. I can never remember what the neck's made of. They've told me so many times, but I can never remember the material. But it's my custom one. It's 27-inch scale, baritone essentially. Got the fancy Tesseract logo, yeah. This is my baby, been using it for ages. It's also got piezo pickups, but I haven't used them in ages. I think I used that on the, what do you call it? The Polaris album, and we used it for like 2 songs when we were touring a couple of songs, but now it's run out of battery, and if I ever flick the piezo on by accident, it just mutes my guitar, so it's going to become like a handy mute switch now. Just a redundant piezo pickup in it, but yeah. Sometimes I have a split coil on the neck for some songs, just for that really kind of articulate single coil sound essentially. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah.
This is my new one. This is my new sort of Ibanez custom shop RGD, and this again has silos and sort of 3-way, and then like coil tapped, so you can, or split coil, whichever. What do we call it? I don't know.
Split coil. Yeah.
Which we use quite a lot on the neck, and it's a mahogany body, and it's flame maple top and a maple board, and kind of got the same finish going the whole way up, which is I think kind of cool. And it's got the War of Being kind of labyrinth logo at the bottom, and yeah, 27-inch scale length, and it's a lot of fun.
It's so pristine. It's not like been gig damaged yet.
I don't know, I got this one little ding here. Where is it there? I coloured it in with a Sharpie.
That's good.
Yeah, I've got a white RGD over there which I'm using, and the front of it actually looks great, but the back of it is destroyed. It looks awful.
Yeah. Right, so rig's pretty simple. It's just going from our RF units straight into the RF receiver, which is here. And this handles both guitars, bass, and also the vocal mic. And from the output there, we're going into our radar. These are essentially just posh AB boxes. We've got A, they're plugged in at the minute, but A will go to our quad cortexes, and then B will go to a loom. So we've got a tuner on stage if we need to, tune mid-song or something, or just tune in between songs. It's also a little backup, so if our RF goes down, we can press that on and that will go to a backup cable, so that's quite handy. And then from there, it's pretty simple. It just goes into our quad cortex, newer DSP. We've been using these for a few years now. We were on Kemper before these, but these are just so great to fly with because they're so tiny and light. And we've managed to capture all our old tones, so like the tones we used from our first album, which is like all the pod kind of Milton Clean's tones, they're on there. And through to the newer rhythm tones that we use for the latest album. It's all in one little box, and it's all controlled via MIDI with the laptop, which isn't there right now, but that will just play the whole set and trigger everything, so we don't have any pedals on stage. We deal with all the BPM changes and preset changes, and we've also got not relevant to the guitar, but a backup set up so that if this laptop fails, it will switch to that one, and it will still carry all the MIDI information onto all the 3 quad cortexes. But it's actually a pretty simple setup. It's just full of RF stuff now. But yeah, that pretty much sums it all up.
I first had a bare knuckle when you got a nail bomb. So where did you?
It was a nail bomb, wasn't it?
You had a nail bomb.
That's the first time I had that. That's on my Ibanez ages ago. I think I just heard it in the ethos from just on the forums, on the guitar forums and gent forums, and just word of mouth, I think. And people starting to use them like in the circuit in the old days, just like the small club shows we were playing, they're starting to pop up. So I think just word of mouth, really.
That's from about 2008, 9 sort of time, wasn't it?
Before that, I think. Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, like the Meshuggah forum. There's a lot on there because that's where I used to post all the original Tesseract demos, and they're like Harmony Central and 7-String Forum, all that kind of stuff.
7string.org, was it?
Something like that. Yeah. There's just a lot of guitar nerdery stuff on those forums back in the day, but learnt a lot from them as well, to be fair. So back in the day, yeah. There's a nail bomb, which I don't even remember. I'd forgotten about that one. The nail bomb. Then we went on to the Aftermaths, which I think you're still using. I think we used on the Altered State album. used an Aftermath for the recording of that. So we started using them live, and then
I mean
these ones, yeah.
what are they called? The rail ones, not cold sweat. Are they cold sweat?
Blackhawks.
Blackhawks.
Sorry, Blackhawks. Something like that. And I've been using them ever since, actually.
I remember years ago, and so long ago, I remember trying a painkiller, and I really enjoyed that. I think it's when I went to the Aftermath, it just did absolutely everything that I wanted it to do. Yeah, I stuck on Aftermath for I guess the last 12 years until this guitar, where I thought I'd try out the silos because I'd heard lots of good things about them, and they're great.
And for me, that's the Blackhawks. I've been using them for almost 10 years, about 8 years. I think all my guitars have them now, except one from the Altered State era. But I think might start moving to the silos just to freshen things up. You sent me, Ben Knuckle sent me one recently, and they're quite similar to the Blackhawks, I thought, but they're just a little bit smoother. I love the Blackhawks. They are a little bit harsh, I find, but that's nice. It cuts through. It's got that kind of high mid 3K kind of cut to it. But when I tried the silos, they're very similar to the Blackhawks, I found, but they're just a little bit smoother. So that kind of solved that issue. It wasn't really an issue, but that kind of solved it for me. I think just made it nice and smooth.
Nice. Yeah. We coil tap quite a lot on the neck, and the silo in sort of single coil mode sounds absolutely killer. It's super tight, twangy. Yeah, big fan. But I think the one consistent thing through all the bare knuckle pickups I've tried is always, and we were talking about this earlier, is sort of the definition of note, especially like in the low end stuff when playing. Sort of, it's tight and you can hear the note and articulate. It cuts and it's
I think it's just they're just articulate is the main thing, and that's the reason. Still use them. I've been using them for 15 years now, I think. They're just tight low end, which is the important thing, and just articulate. Just no matter what tuning we're using or what amp you're using, it's just you can trust that it's always going to have that cut, that note cut into it. And
a nice high output for a passive pickup as well, which is just great for driving and getting in your N.
We were setting up because we've only recently moved to wireless, guitar wireless packs, and it's without setting the gain on the RF packs, like we're having to scale down the gain on the RF because it's just like the RF, it's clipping already, help me, I can't take all the gain, so we've got to like bring it down so we're not clipping the RF too much. But it sounds great.
I think they're amazing.
They're great.
Well done, guys.
That's actually ideal because